They are openly calling for insurrection right now, directly calling for violence against ICE. ICE shot a few more people. One person went blind. We have a lot to talk about today. Lots of crash outs. Lots of people getting into debates with heartless right-wingers and getting absolutely humiliated, including Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, decided to debate Ben Shapiro. And listen, man, for all our complaints, Ben Shapiro annihilated that guy to the point that he disavowed his own Twitter account. It's honestly pretty incredible stuff. Insane deep dive for you today. And honestly, I'm very excited to dive into it. So first, this is Jacob Fry. He is the mayor of Minneapolis, and this is him calling for violence.
What I can tell you for certain is that this is not sustainable.
Okay.
This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in.
True. It's all the fraud, probably. The Somalians, maybe. I don't know.
And at the same time, we are trying to find a way forward.
Yeah, deportations is what I would do.
Keep people safe.
Yeah, deportations, again, that solves the problem, actually.
Protect our neighbors. To maintain...
Our neighbors? What about protecting America?
Order.
Order? I mean, isn't that following the law? You know how Donald Trump was, like, elected by, like, the majority of the American people to, like, deport all the illegals and, like, you're now fighting him and stopping order? You know how, like, that's going on right now?
And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are
not citizens, residents,
asking the very limited number of police officers that we have.
All right. Why are they so limited?
To fight ICE agents on the street.
Fight ICE agents on the street. Zooms into the police chief who raises his eyebrows.
Stand by their
like,
neighbors.
Oh my.
We cannot be at a place right now in America.
Agreed.
Where we have two
lawlessness and Somalis.
Governmental entities that are literally fighting one another.
Totally agree. That's why you should stand down and let the government do its job. Yeah, no, but I have to say, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
We have to fight ICE agents on the street. To stand...
Oh my God. So yeah, anyway, call for violence, classic. I mean, these people need to go to jail, bro. I know Trump is threatening to pull the Insurrection Act right now, but it is a good time. Now, before we dive too deep into it, I need to show you a video that went super freaking viral. So this is a 21-year-old activist that was injured tragically by ICE. As you can see, this is 10 million views. This is 150,000 likes. This went mega viral, and this is just one tweet of it. This poor guy with his injury. We're going to have to talk about this immensely.
What can you tell us about your injuries now and...
Gets injured, immediately gets on a talk show. Interesting.
The prognosis. Will you be blind in that eye for life?
Will you be blind in the eye?
From what?
Because he was shot in the eye.
I've heard the doctors say, and...
What is that voice, sir? Sir, your voice is very nasally.
Everyone else.
Sir, you lost your Adam's apple, sir. Sir, where to go? Sir, you lost your Adam's apple.
Yes, I will be blind for life. They said my globe was ruptured. I had like my lower lid was...
Sir, your hand is very feminine, sir.
Like cut up, and they had to take skin from my temple to fix it. There's a lot to it. I don't remember all the things that they said. I have fractures in my skull that they can't fix, and I can't sneeze or cough because it's dangerous too.
Yeah, you're not allowed to sneeze, sir.
I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and...
Oh my God, he was shot with pepper in his eye.
I had pepper down my throat. It made it hard to breathe for a long time.
Damn. No, thank God he's still with us.
They pulled a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of my eye.
Yeah, fuck, this poor guy got shot in the eye. I wonder what happened to get him to that. Now, I love how they don't explain in his interview why he was shot in the eye, but I'm sure it was just minding his own business, and one of those Nazis just decided to shoot him.
They said I had shards of metal, glass, and plastic all throughout my eye and behind my eye and in my skull.
Wow.
And they also said that I had a piece of shrapnel metal.
I mean, if I was this guy, I would probably be wearing like an eye patch or something, because I wouldn't want, I wouldn't want to show this unless literally the point of this is actual gore porn to manipulate you, which there's no way, right? Obviously.
A few millimeters away from my carotid artery, and they said it was a miracle I survived, because
it's a miracle he survived.
I would have died.
It's a miracle.
Wow. Totally blind right now? You see nothing out of the eye?
Nothing out of his eye, yeah. It's black.
Yeah, so he's blind for life. This man who lost his Adam's apple somewhere along the way with the nasally voice. Anyway, so this man is not a man. This man is a trans person, creature thing that is now mutilated even more than she already mutilated himself. Even more than she even mutilated herself, she is now more mutilated because of those ICE Nazis. Well, let's actually get the full picture as to what's going on here. Okay, I felt like we should do a little bit of research instead of watching gore porn. All right, so as you can see, this is an instance of a man that's getting arrested. All right, so this guy's getting arrested. He swings at an ICE agent. He goes down. This is not the victim that we're talking about. This is the victim running at ICE officers who are in the middle of doing a lawful arrest. This guy is running at ICE officers. As you can see, running at past it. This is federal jurisdiction. He is literally entering federal jurisdiction, running at ICE officers as they're conducting an arrest, and he gets shot by a pepper bullet, tragically in the eye. Blinded to Save Some Somalis award. And that's crazy. New achievement! Blind to Save Some Somalis. Your award? Social media cloud forever. Anyway, congratulations, sir. Incredible stuff. Now, obviously, Adam, for those of you that are unaware, this is a Pakistani Muslim who immigrated to the United Kingdom, who said, I haven't seen a single video like this out of Iran. The boy has been blinded forever in one eye. So here we have a Pakistani Muslim playing the leftoid card, all right? So you have to understand the incredible. So this is a pro-trans radical Islamist who claims that, the Jews invented all of the LGBT stuff, all right? But now is suddenly pro-trans in order to be anti-America. Pretty weird how this keeps happening. I haven't seen a single video like this out of Iran. Dog, 20,000 protesters were massacred, literally massacred, coming out of Iran, massacred in the streets for protesting against the dictatorship. This is a guy that was blinded for rushing at a lawful police officer conducting a lawful arrest and was shot with a pepper bullet, which tragically was in the eye. The fact that you're saying I haven't seen a single video like this out of Iran is unbelievable levels of horseshit, straight up promoting radical Islamism. Many such cases, because the radical Islamists always ally up with the communists to overthrow American government. It's literally, I feel like I keep repeating myself here, but that's why they ally up with each other. All right, the radical Islamists, they're not pro-gay. All right, they're not pro-trans. The gay trans communists, they're not pro-Sharia law. Yet they still get along because they have the same goal, overthrowing the United States and Western civilization, because their values are quite literally anti-God and anti-Bible. All right, that's kind of where we're at. Now, I'm glad that we were able to talk about this story. So this woman here with her tragic injury, and I'm sad it happened, don't get me wrong. I wish that she was stopped in other ways, but now she's blind because she's retarded. She got the fucked around and found out award, and now we don't have to be retarded and make believe that this is state-sponsored terrorism or anything like that. This is going to be the new heroic icon on the left. Get ready to see her on all of Hassan Piker's thumbnails. All right, what a legend. What a legend, putting her eyeball on the line. No achievement! Groomed into mutilating multiple body parts award. Fantastic. Truly incredible stuff, honestly. So this is the new hero, because all the heroes on the left are just criminals and terrorists. So anyway, Minnesota leftist forces are actually getting insane. So they are becoming the unironic Minnesota Gestapo. They see trucks and they see vans and they're like, oh my God, it's a van. Maybe it's ICE. And they just start harassing random people to prove that they're not ICE officers.
Huh? Here you go. Yeah, like I said, I don't have to do this. I'm happy to do this.
So this is just a random guy needing to prove his innocence, that he's not an actual ICE officer, to the leftist woke retards.
We just got to stop this.
So he's got a lot of camera equipment. I think we can say this isn't ICE.
Yeah, I'm not. I tried to tell him.
Oh my God, he has a camera. We should harass him forever now. He might be ICE.
First lady, nobody believes me. That's all I can do is tell you. I already listen, first of all, I don't have to do any of that, but I'm kind. I respect what you are doing. Yeah.
All right, so this is a leftist, and he's like, dude, I respect that you guys are all doxing ICE agents. I'll respect it. And I'm like, I'm happy to help. And they just don't believe him. They don't believe him. Literally, the left eating itself. New achievement. Woked too close to the sun. Your award? Getting stoned by the mob you aimed to please.
I appreciate what you guys are doing. I just don't understand my job. I don't know how to do it.
Were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes, he was here yesterday. I can testify that.
They're literally slumping this guy because he, because he has a van.
I didn't recognize him.
No, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
I'm not here to help you.
No,
I think the fact that you're in a vehicle like this at this
I
time
get it. With all due respect to everybody, I can't help.
You being in a vehicle like this is too much. It's white supremacy to have vans these days.
Well, you can. You can go rent something else.
Go rent a different car. You can't have vans. ICE agents travel in vans. You can't have this anymore, okay? These are the real Gestapo. By the way, this is domestic terrorism. Literally. Like, they'll walk up to random people with vans to harass them and tell them to rent different cars because ICE agents have vans legally?
Well,
I mean, if you're part of the media.
That's not how it works.
This is my business.
I know. This is not how it works. So anyhow, I hope you guys understand. Not here to
He
cause
was
any
here
problem.
with a video camera yesterday. I did see another vehicle with them, but
Yeah, he showed
I did
This
see
is
him.
amazing. Like, this is truly the retard on retard violence I live for.
No. Okay. I told them I was with the media.
Okay.
And when people get irate with me, I have no choice to just roll out the window.
I think you gotta understand that people were kidnapped.
People were thinking you're ICE, and therefore what? And therefore we want to obstruct justice and harass you. This is domestic terrorism. Yes, we need the Insurrection Act.
It wasn't yesterday, because that's what we did the story on.
Sorry.
Let's just wrap this up, okay?
It would be helpful. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's fine.
You guys, the first time.
Let's just wrap this up so either way, you know.
Yeah, I love this, honestly. Like, dude, the retards eating each other has got to be my favorite thing ever. So, the retards continue to release their militant retards, all right? We've already seen militant lesbians. We've seen more militant trans people, all right? Get ready for some militant woke Jews. Bernie Sanders decides to release the most Bernie Sanders message of all time.
Let me say a word about the current situation in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Last week, an unarmed American citizen, Renee Good,
That was a lie. She wasn't unarmed. She was wielding a 4,500-pound weapon, a car that she used to ram into an ICE agent that has internal bleeding. Continue.
was shot in the head by an ICE officer in broad daylight.
Shot in the head in self-defense. Continue.
Instead of demanding accountability for her killing, the Trump
Accountability for her killing? What do you mean accountability for her killing? The guy acted in self-defense. Poor guy was injured because of it.
administration's first instinct was to lie,
What was the lie?
to describe her as a domestic terrorist,
What would you call someone fighting for foreign countries on our soil, obstructing justice, and ramming into them with cars? What would you call them?
and offer the officer absolute immunity.
There was never an offer for absolute immunity. They stated that he had immunity acting in self-defense.
Instead of withdrawing ICE from the city,
Instead of completely and utterly buckling to the terrorists, they decided not to buckle to the terrorists. I know that they were elected to deport the illegals, but instead of saying oopsie poopsie, the terrorists are winning and they're much more powerful than we are, and immediately cucking themselves, they've decided to enforce the law.
Trump has sent thousands
Good.
more
Good.
ICE agents into
Good.
Minneapolis and is threatening
Good.
to invoke the
Base.
Insurrection Act,
Yes.
deploying the United States
Yes.
military against our own citizens.
Why should we arrest our own citizens? All they did was a little bit of terrorism, a little bit of obstruction of justice. I don't know why we care about this. I don't know why Donald Trump is feeling the need to arrest criminals. This is unfathomable.
In other words, the Trump administration's response to peaceful protest
Peaceful protest, like ramming a car into an ICE agent. Peaceful protest, like burning down buildings. Peaceful protest, dude. They still do this. It's unbelievable.
is a military takeover of a major American city.
I don't know. The major American city seems to be conquered by domestic terrorists or something.
This is not only a disaster for Minneapolis, it is a terrible precedent for our country and the rule of law.
The terrible precedent is allying yourself up with the criminals and domestic terrorists instead of allying yourself up with law enforcement doing its actual legal federally mandated duty of deporting the illegals. That, in my opinion, is a terrible precedent for our country.
Let me be clear. The American people are sick and tired of masked ICE agents shooting people, pulling them from their cars.
Like, it's such an unbelievable, like, rewriting of history. What the American people are tired of is infinite law breaking, infinite violence, vandalism, and terrorism on our streets. The American people are tired of riots, of burning down businesses, of looting stores, of attacking police officers, of importing infinite illegals to rape our country and steal our bounty. All right? That's what people are tired of. People are tired of people breaking the law and not getting punished for breaking the law, so they just break the law again. That's what people are tired of.
And deporting people who have lived peacefully in this country for decades.
Bullshit. Get them out if they're here illegally.
Congress
We need a
must
border.
deliver comprehensive immigration reform and a path toward citizenship. I stand with the people of Minneapolis in this very difficult time. And together, we must continue in every legal and non-violent way possible to oppose Trump's authoritarianism.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Trump is being known as illegal on stolen land, bro, dude. It's unbelievable that they're actually still trying this garbage. So anyway, here's just some mostly peaceful leftists. Breaking, says Ed Fagotstein on Twitter. Disclaimer, I am voicing my free speech by posting this video here. After tonight's shooting by ICE in Minneapolis, ICE vehicles were left on the scene and Americans got into the cars. In other words, committed acts of vandalism, and obtained this information. It includes full names of FBI agents, along with their email addresses, details on the shooting last night, plans on where the detainees are being taken, and more. In other words, he's just doxing a whole bunch of ICE agents. Literally, I'm not going to play this video, obviously, because it contains the dox of ICE agents, but he's literally saying, after tonight's shooting, which, by the way, was in self-defense, which I covered in my previous video, in Minneapolis, ICE vehicles were left on the scene, you know, like every single law enforcement does when they're in the middle of operating. They have vehicles that they park. They were looted by domestic terrorists. People broke in, stole info containing the names of ICE agents and their addresses, all right? And now he's directly, in my opinion, telling people to go and harass them or attack them in real life or try to kill them. I really don't see any other explanation for this kind of thing. Governor Tim Walz decided to be a retard. I'm making direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. This dude will one day say we need to fight against ICE, and then the next day say we need to turn the temperature down. Stop the campaign of retribution. It's not who we are. An appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. They're literally attacking ICE agents in the streets. They're looting their cars, man. Jacob Fry, the mayor, decided to release a pretty great tweet. Tonight, a man was shot in the leg by an ICE agent on the north side. No matter what led up to this incident, the situation is unsustainable. Yes. It's unsustainable because this incident was a guy attacking an ICE agent with a shovel. By the way, it was 3 guys attacking an ICE agent. Okay, one of them with a shovel. Okay, so if you want the full context, this is a story that I covered in my previous video. 3 guys ganged up on an ICE agent. They attacked him out of nowhere. They ambushed him. One of them had a shovel and tried to kill him. All right, that is an assault with a deadly weapon. He defended himself by shooting that guy in the leg, and all 3 of those people were arrested. Thank God. So, no, dude, this is an unbelievable twisting of the truth in order to manipulate ICE being some sort of terror movement. The situation is not sustainable, I agree, which is why the people of Minnesota need to stand down, follow the fucking law, or go to jail, hopefully without too many bullet holes, okay? That's what any normal, competent mayor would say. A normal, competent mayor would say, we have to stop treating ICE like they're actually criminals. They're here to do a job, deport the illegals, as is mandated by the American people when Donald Trump was elected president. Shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, stop disobeying the law, or you're gonna go to jail, hopefully with your lives. Unbelievable. Now, this was discussed on CNN in possibly the worst CNN interview I've ever seen. Right? This is CNN, okay? Leftoid extraordinaire extravaganza, all right? This is how they describe a guy getting attacked by with a shovel, and the goalpost shift is truly, truly legendary.
If there were neighbors and others who came out to help this person, that is just an example of Minnesota being a place where we help our neighbors. And we
help our neighbors by violating the law. We let them commit fraud. We stop police officers from arresting rapists because they're our neighbors.
Clear that the ICE agents have been.
Yeah, they rape kids on an industrial scale, but they are our neighbors after all. So, like, obviously we're going to defend them. That's our values.
Coming here, and there's over 2,000 of them.
Based. Send in more. It's not enough. It's not enough. Send in more.
And they've been attacking and terrorizing our.
This is a senator, by the way.
State. So yes, neighbors will come out and be helpful. I'm not certain if they had brooms.
Be helpful, all right? This is referring to, once again, this is referring to 3 guys ambushing an ICE agent, one of them attacking him with a shovel, okay? And the ICE agent defending himself. He is referring to this as neighbors being helpful.
Or shovel, that is to be further investigated.
Right, so he didn't see the direct body cam footage, so he said it needs to be investigated if there actually was a shovel. We don't actually know if they assaulted him with their bare hands or if they used a deadly weapon. All right, that's what the senator had to say. All right, get ready for the greatest goalpost shift of all time.
If they did, in fact, have some sort of weapons to use to attack the ICE officer, would that change your opinion of whatever unfolded next?
Which was the guy shooting the guy in the leg in self-defense.
Actually, no, right? Because...
the goalpost shift in real time. We don't actually know if the guy that attacked the ICE officer had a weapon, so I can't say anything at this time. Okay, but if he did have a weapon, what would you say? Well, actually, no, this doesn't change my opinion. Of course they should attack him with a deadly weapon.
From our vantage point, we wanted to make sure, and always wanted to make sure, that Minnesotans are being dealt with properly.
Right. So that guy was dealt with very properly by getting shot in the leg. All right. Very properly. A less proper job would have killed him. Which honestly, I mean, I kind of would support anyway, probably, because realistically, that seems like it's in self-defense. It really does. If they had weapons they used to attack the officer, would that change your opinion? Actually, no. Dude, the real-time goalpost shifting has got to be some of the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like, we don't even know if it was with a weapon. Okay, but if it was with a weapon, what would you think? Oh, it's still okay. All right. So anyway, let me introduce you to one of the protesters. All right. So these are people looting a ransacked, vandalized ICE vehicle. This is a federal vehicle being ransacked. In my opinion, this is domestic terrorism. All right. So pay attention to this retard with the beanie. This lady. Yeah, weird, huh? So, by the way, in this ransacking of the ICE vehicle, they ended up taking a weapon as well as information doxing ICE agents. I believe all these people should be in jail, by the way. Obviously. Look, I'm not saying we should drone strike them. But... what's this? All right, so, you know, that's this lady, that's clearly the same as this lady. At least that's how it looks to me. These look the same, and look, oh my gosh, a friend of Ilhan Omar. Wow, Ilhan Omar, new achievement, besties with a domestic terrorist. Award $30 million apparently, or something. Crazy how this keeps happening. Protesting with Ilhan Omar one day, attacking FBI vehicles the next. University already scrubbed her data from the website. Wow, the cover-up is actually speedrunning cover-up. It's insane. And you know how Bernie Sanders said, I'm really happy and proud that all the Minnesotans are protesting so peacefully. The peaceful protesting is so nice and fun to watch.
He's a Latin king with a violent criminal history. Now we're seeing another night of protests. Bill Maluzhin on the scene. Bill.
Right? So they actually have reporters on the scene, which are very, very openly and obviously just straight up recording
the agents are
violence.
Trying to bring their vehicles out. You'll see them come out with the skirmish line and tell people. You can see them yank.
Right? They're literally vandalizing shit on camera on Fox News. And Bernie Sanders has the gall to say, I'm really proud of all the peacefulness. That's just so overwhelmingly peaceful.
On the chain link fence right here. It looks like some of that chain link is coming off from the moors that it's on. But
well, that's what we call vandalism, guys.
No federal agents from what we're able to see manning this spot right now. There is one single FPS vehicle, that is Federal Protective Service, sitting in the lot right here. Cameraman can see it. That is the only federal presence we're seeing right now. A lot of these agents have decided to kind of back off. We got one vehicle coming through here right now.
Domestic terrorists that are so dangerous, the agents need to back off. Interesting. Mostly peaceful. I love how peaceful it is. Look, guys, look at the peacefulness. All right, so this retard is getting dragged to jail, as she should be.
I am disabled!
Right, and she's I am disabled!
I have a brain injury!
I have a brain injury! Yeah, we know.
Stay back.
I am autistic and I have a brain injury!
I am autistic! Bro, she's actually speedrunning.
Put me down!
Put me down!
Get to the doctor and I'm autistic!
I'm autistic and need the bathroom! Bro, she's really trying everything. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Love to see it. Now, obviously, 2 law enforcement officials with masks hiding their faces drag and manhandle a woman through the streets. Oops, it's America, not Iran. Iran, again, pretty weird. Like, a lot of people are talking about Iran. This guy said, I haven't seen anything about like this bad in Iran, where they just massacred 20,000 protesters. And this person seemed to say that this is America, not Iran, where they're manhandling a woman that's autistic and needs to pee with a brain injury. And his name is Mir Mohammed Al-Khahan. Interesting how this keeps happening. So you're telling me that you have all of these Islamists literally pushing propaganda about how America is more tyrannical than Iran. Actual direct propaganda, anti-American bullshit. Isn't it incredible how they all end up on the left? And you're gonna tell me that I'm ever gonna listen to an Islamist when it comes to state-sponsored terrorism or manhandling of protesters coming from radical Islamists? Are you actually fucking insane? This is like listening to Jewish guys' valid criticism of the banking system. That's me when I hear Islamists telling me, you shouldn't actually let the government manhandle protesters. Or, you know, I am a Muslim and I am against child rape. You know, stuff like that. And obviously, for obvious reasons, I always raise an eyebrow, you know. Look, man, nothing against you. It's like I'm skeptical when I hear Indian guy criticizes the cleanliness of the streets of New York City. And it's like, all right, dude. All right, dude. So, yeah. Anyway, really interesting watching all these fake right-wing Islamists complaining about the government in America being so much worse than Iran for arresting terrorists. Unlike Iran, who's massacring 20,000 people by the day, it seems. I can't believe this is happening. This boy had been blinded forever in one eye. Unbelievable. The boy, the adult 23-year-old boy without an Adam's apple, was blinded for rushing at a police officer. This girl, manhandling a woman. Oh my God, unbelievable. Yeah, anyway, so breaking, Palantir, I can't believe this is happening, bro. Palantir is working on a tool for immigration and customs enforcement, populates the map with potential deportation targets, brings up a dossier on each person, and provides a confidence score on the person's current address. This is terrifying, man. Like, because of all these retards that are fighting back against ICE agents that are obstructing justice, they're gonna actually fucking unleash the Eye of Sauron to start actually scanning literally everyone. Our privacy is gonna get destroyed because we have a domestic terrorist insurgency problem in our country. This is terrifying, man. So, obviously, fake news does what fake news does. It tried to catch her, tried to trip her up on this entire story with Renee Good, an innocent militant lesbian that attacked an ICE officer with a 4,500-pound weapon.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Nome spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent.
Shot in the head and killed, says bald British man.
How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Good question.
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with
straight facts. Yeah, if you're a reporter, you're a journalist, you're supposed to at least make believe you're not biased.
Left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're
I don't know, tell the truth. She hit him with her car. He has internal bleeding.
Left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist.
True.
And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. but you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country and the brave men and women of ICE.
It's not true. How dare you say that? I care about specific things that align with my politics. All right? How dare you even imply that there are Muslim rape gangs? I didn't talk about Muslim rape. How dare you? I sense the Islamophobia on your breath. All right, pretty great stuff. Honestly, it's pretty insane. So it's really obvious at this point that it is no longer a riot. It really is terrorism at this point. And I'm really tired of making believe that it's just a bunch of peaceful grandmas and hippies.
It seems like they want some sort of civil fracture, Tim. Do they?
Yep.
It seems so. Now, I don't want to say at the highest levels Democrat politicians want to foment civil war, as I often talk about, but they're beholden to their constituents. So we have a mayor suggesting the police should now be fighting federal agents, which is horrifying. But it's actually quite simple. ICE agents are out on the ground across the country because I asked them to be, because you asked them to be, because the American voter said immigration is a top issue for us. We want Republicans in office. We want Donald Trump in office. And we want this problem solved once and for all. So what are we seeing? Violent extremists who oppose our democracy and the will of the people. That video you showed where they put the tow rope and rip out the weapons locker, that's not the only one. There were other vehicles they ransacked. There's a video purporting to show a man stealing what appears to be a rifle from a federal vehicle and ammunition, as well as patches, tourniquets, and other objects. This is not a protest. This is not a riot. These are political extremists.
Say it.
It's overt terror.
There it is.
When it upgrades to terror, when these people are reading the names of the agents on camera, which they did after they ransacked
on a live
the vehicle,
stream,
after they leaked their names, and apparently went and found their private vehicles. So we're at a whole new level. And Jesse, I used to go on the ground all the time. I covered tons of these protests.
Can't anymore. Too dangerous. They're terrorists. You can't anymore, unfortunately. Now, CNN obviously framed ICE as heroes under Obama, even though right now they frame them as terrorists and Nazis.
Under the cloak of darkness in Chicago.
Attack one, guys.
An immigration and customs enforcement team gears up for another long day.
They're like Batman.
Undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of crimes in the U.S.
Wow.
Mistakenly arrest the target's brother.
In the process of...
They're like Batman!
Vehicle, he then said, oh, no, I'm actually so-and-so.
They got the bad guy!
This other address.
Wow! And you know the funniest part? The NPCs, the liberal NPCs, like, they're actually so retarded and have such a weak value system or moral system, and they literally only care about the current thing to such an extreme degree that this media shift and the media narrative completely could change all of their opinions. That's the craziest part. Like, their opinions are completely and utterly controlled because they have no personal moral foundation at all. Their foundation is based on whatever their liberal college professor taught them, or whatever the media is saying, or whatever social media is telling them that they need to care about right now. That's the only thing they care about. That's why they'll protest for Palestine. They don't give a shit about Iran, all right? They'll scream about Palestine. They don't care about the massacres in Sudan. They don't care about the massacres in Nigeria. They don't care about the massacres in Syria that are happening right now, by the way. Right now there are massacres in Syria. Right now there's massacres in Iran. They don't care. None of that matters to them because they only care about the current thing. And the current thing needs to be something that they were told to care about. It is unbelievable how these people with zero moral backbone have to literally die on hills that they are told to die on. It's the most pathetic shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, the Trump admin is not lying down, or at least that's what they say. I'll believe it when I see it. But they're claiming that they're gathering databases of domestic terrorists.
This job and these people who want to say follow ICE, and film ICE. You know what? You can protest. They have that right. But when you cross that line, and we've proven it, if you interfere or impede or assault an ICE officer, you will be prosecuted. And one thing I'm pushing for right now, Laura, we're going to create a database.
Oh, shit.
People are arrested for interference, impediment, assault. We're going to make them famous. We're going to put their face on TV. We're going to let their employers in their neighborhoods, in their schools.
This is freedom of speech, by the way. For the record, this is complete and utter freedom of speech. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's our right to protest. It's the government's right to make you famous.
know who these people are. Because as you said, a lot of these people, they say they're taking time off work to protest. I bet you a lot of them are calling in sick. I bet you a lot of their employers don't know what they're doing. But we're going.
I bet a lot of them are paid to protest.
We're going to make sure everybody knows who they are. We're going to broadcast. They want to broadcast the ICE officer that was nearly killed all over the internet. We're going to broadcast every one of these people we arrest.
Yikes. So I think this is a fantastic idea, personally. It's completely legal and absolutely constitutional. Now, the retards on the left have no leg to stand on anymore because they have no moral backbone whatsoever. So this is how every single debate looks. So this is Michael Knowles, right-wing guy. This is Kyle Skalinski, leftist terrorist. I'm sorry, did I say terrorist? I meant to say pundit. And this is a debate that they had. And honestly, it just purely and utterly goes to show the level of difference in not just morality, not just backbone, not just foundations to their arguments, but honestly, the type of people we're dealing with.
So the First Step Act, I thought,
Such
was a
a
misstep. But I would say the rest. Excuse me. I would say the rest of the the administration has been very successful. What's your problem? What's
my problem
your
is that you're a cuck and you're a hack and you're not an independent thinker and you're meat riding Trump.
Why do you
and
say
you
that?
know that what he's doing in imperialism
answered your
and
question.
you don't care.
I just answered your question. And I corrected
Congratulations. You rented your brain to a war criminal, pedophile, rapist. I hope you're happy.
A war criminal, pedophile, rapist?
This is him saying that 99.8% of people that got deported actually were illegal aliens. Arrested were illegal aliens. And 100% of them that got deported were illegal aliens. And he's like, he just has like a little meltdown remembering what he did to Destiny the night before.
Do you brought up a point? You brought up international law, and you made a very false point, a dumb point, which is that international law began only a few hundred years ago. I corrected you, and I pointed out that the international law is part of the Western tradition. That, excuse me one second. It goes back to antiquity. It's a principle of the jus gentium. And then you said, well, international law has failed because of the League of Nations failure, which I think is actually undermining your argument and proving my point and proving Trump's point, because the liberal internationalism that was established by people like Woodrow Wilson did in fact fail, which is why we need to restore an older and more classical conception of the international order, which is precisely what Trump's doing. So I think you've hoisted yourself with your own petard. And then you just make a lot of vulgar sort of non sequiturs because you don't have a leg to stand on.
It's honestly incredible watching him get absolutely intellectually demolished, and he can only hit him with like random bullshit. Really an incredible exchange. They managed to film an average Twitter argument. One side making arguments, making a case, citing history and philosophy. The other side nervously trying to think of a meme he saw on the internet to dunk on him. Are you a pedophile protector? It's honestly incredible. It really is. And the same thing happens with Gavin Newsom. So Gavin Newsom got absolutely humiliated by Benny Boy literally yesterday. I don't know why Gavin Newsom invited Ben Shapiro to be on his podcast, because Ben Shapiro fucking humiliated this fucker. But I'll be real, it was entertaining.
One was a narrative that was immediately pushed by the Trump administration and Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem that she was a domestic terrorist who was attempting to run over officers.
Right? Renee Good or whatever.
With her car and was legitimately trying, not just this officer, but multiple officers. That was the original statement. I said at the time, I thought that was untrue. And then your press office tweeted out that it was state-sponsored terrorism.
That's true. They did tweet that. That is a direct tweet from the Gavin Newsom press office, that ICE is state-sponsored terrorism.
Which, I mean, Governor, I do have to ask you about that. Yeah. That sort of thing makes our politics worse.
Yeah. Obviously. And it makes our people being Americans, attack ICE officers and actually become terrorists. Because if you're calling ICE terrorists, then what do you do to stop them? You kill them. All right? Everyone likes to play this game around, but if you call them Nazis, what do you do when Nazi occupation comes? You kill them. What do you do when an actual fascist dictatorship regime rises up? You have to rebel. So when you label them this way, you're telling your people to kill them.
I mean, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, our ICE officers obviously are not terrorists.
Yeah.
Obviously not, right? They're literally doing their complete and utter legal job. They're not doing anything wrong by doing their job. I'm not talking about individual instances where one of them went too far or whatever, which might happen. I don't know. In the Renee Good instance, I personally don't think so. But they're definitely not terrorists. That's insane. So let's hear what Gavin Newsom has to say when he asked him about how his account literally tweeted that they're terrorists.
A tragic situation is not state-sponsored terrorism.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So he makes a tweet that gets all riled up. I don't see it in the replies. He makes a tweet that gets all riled up. It got like 100,000 likes or whatever, calling ICE state-sponsored terrorism. Riles up all these people to commit unthinkable acts to ICE. Because when you're calling them terrorists, what do you do against terrorists? You fucking kill them. So that's what he does to all of these people. Ben Shapiro's like, how could you call them terrorists? That's fucking retarded. And he's like, yeah, that's fair. Zero accountability. Moving on. And only one person is upset because obviously it's insane. But guess who's mad about this? Guess who's mad that Gavin Newsom buckled to Ben Shapiro? Hassan Piker. Oh, brother. Incredible instincts by gruesome Gav. He is criticizing... He's criticizing Gavin Newsom for saying that actually ICE officers are not terrorists. Incredible. Incredible from Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker, the alleged dog rapist pedophile. Unbelievable. Dude, this is fantastic. Hassan, who supports Hamas, thinks that ICE is actually terrorists. Hassan supports Hamas. He supports the cartels. He supports Maduro's regime. He supports all forms of Chinese oppression. He supports the Iranian terrorist regime. He supports Hezbollah. He supports the Houthis. But ICE agents are terrorists, and not only are they terrorists, he expects the governor of California to echo that federal law enforcement doing their job is actually terrorism. Now, I'll be real, that was not the funniest part of the entire Ben Shapiro debate. The funniest part of the Ben Shapiro debate was when he was telling Gavin Newsom that men aren't women.
I think one of the major failings of the Democratic Party in the last election cycle is the unwillingness to say whether it was true or untrue that a boy could become a girl, for example.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people looked at that and they said, excuse me? How's this? Forget about the political ramifications or the policy ramifications for just a second. Can you say a boy is not a girl? And boys cannot just become girls.
Go down.
Nothing to say. Oh my God, bro's getting blasted. It gets worse. It gets even worse.
And I think that's wrong. And I wish that, frankly, you would go further. You've talked about the unfairness in sports, but to me, the bigger question is not unfairness in sports. The bigger question
child
is
mutilation.
Whether we should be allowing the administration of chemical or surgical mutilation of minors based on gender dysphoria.
Well, we're gonna. I mean, the Trump administration has strong opinions. They've sued states like California, many other states,
the administration,
states.
Trump bad.
And my position is that's between the physician. It's between the family member.
What?
And
family members,
and
physicians,
these patients themselves.
Why? Are there any surgical or chemical interventions that you would oppose, even if the patient and doctor want?
Here we go. I mean, I know exactly where this debate goes.
Right, but I mean, it's a real question because it does have public policy implications. Meaning, in the state of California, there's a judicial ruling. We referenced it earlier. Yeah. That said,
well, that's that judicial ruling was ridiculous.
My question on that, and again, this is a subset of a broader issue, is why does the parent not have an absolute moral ability to receive that information? And why is there not a requirement? There should be a requirement for teachers to turn over that information.
Health and safety,
right?
Health and safety is a requirement.
If a teacher truly believes that a parent is a threat to a child, they can report it to child services.
Yeah, so health and safety is still the standard. So you maintain that standard. That standard is the law.
That's a lot of wiggle room for a teacher to apply.
Well, it's also, but it's a lot of law in terms of the weight of that law and that responsibility to take care of it, make sure your kids are safe.
But he's trying to say that teachers should be able to trans kids without telling the parents.
Idea that people are going to public schools and coming back, having surgeries and coming back the next day is absurd.
No, but there are certainly cases in which kids are being quote unquote socially transitioned at school without parents knowing about it. I know some of the parents to whom this has happened. I mean, this is the fundamental question that lies at the root of all of this is the question that you're not wanting to answer, which is whether
can a boy become a girl?
Girls.
Yeah, I think for the grace of God.
Grace of God? Grace of God! No, it's so bad! Oh, no! Oh, Lord.
I appreciate the sympathy. I also feel terrible.
Can boys become girls? Grace of God.
Listen, anybody who's suffering with any sort of
I mean, I think it's been the case for
terrible,
generations, for time immemorial. God bless.
Right. God bless.
I don't know how.
Why is this a hard one? I just don't understand
because I don't know why it's such a. Why is it such a? I'm curious. I understand.
Bro, I've never seen this before. Bro does not. He literally can't say anything. He's like, can boys become girls? Has a mental crash out, mental breakdown. He's not the only person that had a mental breakdown. Destiny tweeted this yesterday, which I thought was important to cover.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Did you know that it's illegal to say I want to kill the President of the United States of America? It's illegal. It's a federal offense. It's one of the only sentences that you're not allowed to say. Now, it was okay for me to say it right then because I was just telling you that it's illegal to say, I want to kill the President of the United States of America.
Very cool, Destiny. Very nice. Love that. Very cool. Appreciate it. Libtards coming out of the walls everywhere talking about this. Even Moist Critical had to get involved. I like Moist, don't get me wrong, but dude, holy crap, bro, this Trump derangement syndrome is hurting this man's brain.
You gonna speak on Renee Good? You mean like in a video or in general? Because that shit is horrible.
Yeah,
I still can't believe that anyone thinks that was defensible action from ICE. But as for
I can't believe ICE would defend himself after getting hit by a car.
Video, I'm not sure yet. I was gonna do like a bigger one, but I just haven't yet. Of course, Charlie is a lib. It is incredible how someone can watch a video and depending on like their political brain, they'll see two different things.
Agreed. My political brain is I actually believe that law and order is a good thing, and other people's political brain is that domestic terrorism is actually a good thing. So I agree. And he goes on for like 3 minutes talking about how obviously it's a tragic thing. Must read story though that a lot of people aren't reading. An illegal immigrant killed my daughter. Leftists march for Renee, not for Katie. Because no one cares, because that doesn't actually fit the narrative, actually. And this is what we're seeing every time. Ha! MAGA deserved it. Ha! Sucks the shooter missed. Ha! Fascist had it coming. No! She was peaceful. No! Leave my militant leftist Karen alone. She was so busy abusing her children when this happened. Clark Country gives a vicious monster, Christian Rabino, a free pass for savage torture and murder of his ex-girlfriend's toddler. Rabino broke both his legs, beat him till his brains and retinas hemorrhaged. He got 5 years probation with 0 punishment. Why is no one criticizing this guy? Well, why are we not having riots against this kind of situation? I don't know. Breaking news. This, by the way, happened yesterday. Outrage erupts after 1-year-old boy Harvey Macklebust was killed, reportedly, by a Minnesota daycare employee, Thea Russell. All right, so this Thea Russell over here, Thea Russell seemingly murdered a 1-year-old by strangling him to death. All right, in Minnesota. But Minnesota is currently crashing out and protesting against ICE officers trying to deport illegals. No one cares about Harvey Macklebust getting strangled to death as a 1-year-old. Pretty weird how that happens. So Bill Maher accidentally was completely correct. All right, everyone's favorite liberal who can't stand the left.
Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed. Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual.
That's it. And honestly, leftist fatigue is growing. So even though on the online space, you have all these libtards freaking out and crashing out, you have honestly straight up and utterly humiliating exchanges whenever they engage in discussions, whether they're political commentators, whether they're literally governors of states having to say, well, actually, when I said that they were terrorists on social media, that was a bad look. I agree. You have leftists saying, how dare you condemn your own tweet calling them terrorists? You should double down and keep calling them terrorists, actually. You have popular podcasters saying you should kill the president of the United States, but in an entertaining and informative way, not like he actually means it or anything. All right? And honestly, this level of discourse, in my opinion, is polluting the minds of more center-ish, center-left type people that are completely and utterly lost by the narrative of these empathetic retards that are actually based on nothing, are completely controlling and warping the eyes of the people. So yes, the feeling is mutual. The average American cannot stand you guys. The average American does want law and order. The average American does not want violent, militant, leftist retards in the streets killing our law enforcement. The average American, quite literally, is not falling for the shtick of these people. All right? The average American is tired. The average American, you know, the people that voted for Donald Trump and put him in office, the average American thinks that if you fuck around and find out, that is a you problem. You could keep trying to empathetically and emotionally gaslight people to actually be on your side because of the way you use terms in such polite, wholesome language on CNN. But the age of absolute lib cuckery has ended. Your ideology, your morals, your ethics, they're based on fucking nothing. And we see the way these NPCs keep replacing the chips in their brain to care about whatever the fuck they're told to care about today. New achievement! After years of fucking around, you finally are finding out.